Hey everybody, Tom with Outdoor Miles here, and today we're going to be showing you how to fix a crack in your shower base. If you had your RV for a while, you already know that things will eventually wear out. One thing that wears out in some RVs are the showers. They get a lot of use, and the shower base can develop some cracks. Now when that happens, you have a few options. You can try and repair it, or you can replace it. Replacing it is going to be much more expensive and time consuming. So I'm going to show you how to do a quick little fix on your shower base cracks, and that might get you through a few more seasons before you decide to replace it. Now we're going to use a product called JB Water Weld. Now this will set in about 15 to 25 minutes, so it's pretty quick, and then it will fully cure in about an hour. The shower that I'm going to repair right now is a walk-in shower, and it has a solid base on it. And if you look closely, you'll see a little bit of these hairline cracks that started to form right around the drain. I could actually get my fingernail in between one of the cracks there, and you can see these other ones splinter out. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the JB Water Weld, and we're going to create a putty system and just put this on here and try and get as much of it into the cracks, and then we're going to feather it out so that it's relatively smooth. JB Water Weld, you can sand it, which we probably will at the end of the job after it hardens, and try and get a very smooth finish. Now the JB Water Weld, it's going to cure to an off-white color. So if you're looking for something that is completely unnoticeable, this may not be the product for you. You may want to go ahead and replace the base, but if you're okay with a little bit of off color to repair a crack, then this might work out just fine. There aren't a whole lot of tools that you're going to need for the job, but you definitely want to have some gloves on hand. You don't want to put this water weld on your skin. And then we got some sandpaper, just some 120 grit sandpaper. What we're going to do is we're going to rough it up before we actually apply it, and then we're going to use it to smooth it out a little bit at the end. So this is pretty much all you need, and stick with me and we'll take a look at it. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sand around this area. Now the reason that we're sanding is we want to try and create an uneven surface as much as we can that will allow the JB Water Weld to bond with the plastic a little bit better. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to place it all the way around here. You can see that the crack starts here and circles all the way around. So it's pretty much the entire drain area. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to create a whole barrier right around the lip here. That's all you need, and if you feel that you can tell that it's a little roughed up, you won't be able to see it with your eyes, but you should be able to feel it. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to clean this up around here so we get rid of any of the residue from the sanding, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the application of the water weld. So here we have the water weld, and it's going to come in a putty form. You can see the sleeve, and you're just going to pinch off what you need. Just like the putty or the Play-Doh that you used in grade school. It's very similar. But again, remember that it's going to set in about 15 to 20 minutes. So you want to work relatively fast, and you want to seal this up when you're not using it, or it's going to dry out and become a hard rock. I'm going to take a little bit of the putty and we're just going to press it into the crack. You want to try and spread it out and smooth it along the crack. We'll clean it up a little bit as we go. And this is where it's going to get really important to try and, it's a little tricky as you can see with gloves, but it's going to be really important to try and push it into that crack so that it provides a really good seal. So when you're done applying the putty, you want to make sure that you're covering all those cracks well. I actually pushed in some areas into the crack and then just tried to get that putty to go in between the two pieces of plastic. You'll have little bits of bumps here, but don't worry about that. What we're going to do is once it cures, we're going to sand it down. So it's not going to be unnoticeable, but it's going to be a little bit more feathered from the base of the shower into here. And that's really important for draining. And outside of replacing the base, there's no way to really patch this without getting a little bit of an uneven surface that may impact draining. But as opposed to doing all the work to replace the base or to pay for that, I'll choose this for a short while. Okay, so this is going to harden in about maybe about 10 more minutes, and then it will cure in about an hour. So we'll come back and we'll take a look at it, sand it down, and see how it works. I waited about an hour, then I checked the fix to see how it was hardening up, and it was still a little bit soft at that time. It wasn't completely hard. So I waited a few more hours just to get it nice and hard, and it's pretty much there. But I do think the outside edges are good enough to sand down and get that smooth. And then I may, depending on how the inside sands, I may come back tomorrow morning and just give it one last go over. But let's go ahead, let's take a look. So once you let the water weld harden, it's going to get like a plastic consistency. You know, I put it on pretty thick in the middle here, so it took a little bit longer to fully harden. But once you have it on here, you can sand it, paint it. It's resistant to, I think, up to 250 degrees of water temperature. It's resistant to any types of chemicals. So the good news is it's going to be very solid on here, and it should last a long time. But when I put it on, you can see it wasn't completely level everywhere. So I just want to get some, I have 120 grit sandpaper here. And I'm just going to go through and lightly sand the edges. Now the areas that I'm focusing on right now is just where the base of the shower meets the putty. Because I just want to get nice and smooth, so you know, we can squeegee the water over it, or it will drain a little bit better. Okay, so there you have the fix. Again, it dries to an off-white color, so if you do have a white base on your shower, you'll definitely be able to see the patch. I mean, it's not very noticeable, but there is a color difference there. Now the other problem is, and it's not really that big of a problem, is that since you have some putty on the upper edge of this, the lip that goes into the drain in some of these areas is a little bit higher. So you might have water that won't just naturally drain through, but if you're like me, my RV is very rarely 100% level. So that's all, you know, never a big problem to surmount. So that's it. Not a lot to it. It's this JB water weld. It works really well, and it may not last for 5-10 years, but maybe I'll get 2 or 3 seasons out of it, and then at that time, if I decide, I can replace the base of the shower. Now there are other options out there. There are different sealants that you can use to do the same job. This one is just really easy to work with. It's inexpensive. I think it was about $7-8 for this container, and it got the job done. All right, well, that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to it. Hopefully this was able to help somebody out. And again, it's not a replacement for pulling out your shower base and replacing that, but it could be a temporary fix that, you know, could last quite some time. So if you are going to do this, you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. All right, have a good one.